Hi, this is Mrs. Gervasio here with Wednesday's homework. Let's jump right to it. Okay, be sure to watch and re-watch the tutorial. Pause for the practice problems and of course come back and check and see how you did. Complete the homework at the end of the tutorial and of course show all of your work. Alright, we are working on division again. So let's get started with our practice problems. Alright, just a reminder, for the does McDonald's sell burgers really cheesy means divide, multiply, subtract, bring down, and then repeat or remainder, and then of course check your work. So we have 34 divided by 8. Now the first thing we have to do is divide. We ask how many times does 8 go into 3? And that would be 0. So check. Then you have to multiply 0 times 8, which equals 0. Check. Now you have to subtract. 3 take away 0 is 3. Check. And bring it down. Bring down the 4. Check. Now the R here in this case stands for repeat, so we do it all over again, because 34 is bigger or greater than 8. So, how many times can 8 go into 34? Alright, so if you're not sure how many times 8 goes into 34, you just go ahead and make your 8 groups and you start counting. So you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34. Now, there's a problem. They are not equal. These are unequal groups. So I have to back it up a little bit, and then I would have 2 left over with 4 in each group. Okay? So, how many times can 8 go into 34 equally? Well, that would give you 4. Alright, and then we would say, we would put a check mark and then multiply. So 4 times 8 is 32. Check. And then you subtract. 4 take away 2 is 2. And then 3 take away 3 is 0. Now, this one down here, right there, is our remainder, because it's left over. And also, we can't keep going because we can't keep dividing because 2 is smaller than 8. So 8 cannot go into 2. Alright, so we have nothing to bring down, and that is our remainder 2. Now we're not finished because we still have to check our work. So squiggle, 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 and then we would say 4, our quotient, times our divisor, which is 8, and that gives us 32, but don't forget, you need to add your remainder. Okay, so there we have 34. Now we need to box it, connect it. It is correct. Yay! Alright, let's go ahead and take a look at the next problem. And here we have 17 divided by 3. Now what I want you to do is I actually want you to go ahead and divide, multiply, and subtract, and then bring down and stop. Okay, so pause me, divide, multiply, subtract, bring down, and then stop. Don't go back, don't repeat it, just stop. And then come on back and check your work, okay? Alright, so you should pause me and you're coming back and you're checking your work now, and you're asking yourself, how many times does 3 go into 1? And that would be 0. Check. Then you multiply. 0 times 3 is still 0. Check. Then you need to subtract. 1 take away 0 is 1. Check. And then you bring it down. Check. So that's where you should have worked up to. Okay? Then you will need to repeat it and do that step all over again. Why do you have to do all these steps all over again? Good job. Because 3 can still go into 17. 17 is still greater than 3. So I want you to go ahead and pause me again, and I want you to divide, multiply, and subtract. And then unpause me and check your work. So go ahead, pause me, divide, multiply, subtract, and then come on back and check. Alright, so hopefully you went ahead and paused me and now you're back checking your work. So you're asking yourself, how many times does 3 go into 17? And if you're not sure, you should have drawn the circles. So how many groups do you have? Good job. You have 3 groups. So we're counting up to 17. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17? Nope, I can't do that because all these groups have to be equal. They all have to be equivalent, because that's why when we divide, we have to make sure that everyone's getting an equal share. Alright, but then we would have 2 left over. So how many is in one group? You have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So when you say how many times does 3 go into 17, your answer there would be 5. So check, you divided. Then you should have multiplied. So 5 times 3 is 15. Check. Then you subtracted. 7 take away 5 is 2. 1 take away 1 is 0. Check. And that's where you should have worked up to. Okay. Now you have 2 as your number down here. Can you make a group of 3 out of 2? Well, let's see. I have 3 circles, and now I'm going to try to split up 2. 1, 2, nope, I can't do that, can I? So that means I can't divide it again, so I can't repeat it. So that R, instead of stands for repeat, stands for good job, remainder. So we go ahead and put our R2 on the top. And of course, we're not finished, because now, what does the C stand for? Stands for check your work. So we squiggle, 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 and we have our quotient, which is 5, times 3 is 15, but don't forget that you actually have to add your remainder. So that would be 17. Box it, connect it, it's correct. Good job. Alright, let's look at one last practice problem. 42 divided by 5. I would like you to go ahead and try this whole problem by yourself, and then come on back and check your work. So pause me, work it out on your own, and then come on back and check your work. Alright, so hopefully you have paused me and you're coming back and you've to check your work. So the first thing you do is you divide. You ask yourself, how many times does 5 go into 4? And that was 0. Check. Now you have to multiply. 0 times 5 is 0. Then you have to subtract. 4 take away nothing is still 4. Bring it down. Check. And then we have to repeat and do it all over again, because 42 is greater than 5. Because we can still say something times 5 equals 42 or close to 42. So let's do it all over again. How many times does 5 go into 42? Well, what times 5 is close to 42? And you should be saying 8. So check. 8 times 5 is 40. Check. Subtract. Check. And bring down, but there's nothing else to bring down. So do we keep going or should we stop? Well, we're stopping because 2 is less than 5. We can't make groups of 5 anymore. So that the R in this case does not stand for repeat. It actually stands for, good job, remainder. So we're not finished. We have to keep going because we have the C left over. So we have to say our quotient times our divisor, which is 40. But don't forget to add your remainder, which turns out to be 42. So box it, connect it, and they are both the same, so that means that our answer is correct. 42 divided by 5 equals 8 remainder 2. Now if you are confused or if you got it wrong, you need to pause, go back in, and check your work. Okay, and here's the part of the homework that you need to actually bring into class tomorrow. Oh, that's okay. It's not very many problems at all. Your first homework problem is 29 divided by 9. Don't forget to check your work. Your second division problem is 24 divided by 5. And your last division problem is 41 divided by 7. Make sure that if you are struggling, you go back in and watch the tutorial again, or at least parts of the tutorial, so that you are coming in tomorrow to class completely prepared with a very good understanding of what homework was. And there you have it. There was your homework for tonight. Any problems, make sure to talk to me tomorrow. All right? That's it. I hope you have a wonderful evening. Bye-bye.